My people, so I had some ideas on, I talked about high yield savings accounts before and some ways you can save some more money and get a little higher yield. I have an idea, a way that I'm going to share with you that you can do it in the market where you can earn more than the 4, 5, or 6% that most banks are offering. And in my opinion, it'll be pretty safe. It does have some risks involved. Most of it's backed in treasury bills. So unless you think the American economy or US government is going to default on paying the debts that they owe, I don't think that there'll be much risk of you not getting paid what you're going to get paid based on how the fund works. I mean, if they change it up or if they go bail it tomorrow, something could happen. But chances are, I think it's pretty slim. That's just my opinion. Look at the info, check it out, see for yourself, and see what you might want to do. But better yields is better yields. So I want to talk about another fund here, HIGH. Hi, the Simplicity Enhanced Income ETF. The purpose of this fund is just to make you money. It never has really gone below 24 or above 25. It stays pretty stagnant. So whatever you put in general should stay about where it is, and doesn't go up or down that much. So you pretty much don't lose any capital by putting it in this fund. What I want you to see here is the fund has 87.7 million in total assets, and they only have about 3.5 million shares outstanding. So they give about a 9.6%, almost, I would just round to say 10% dividend yield so far this year. So the next thing to look is this fund started back in about November 22, so back there. They had to start generating some money before they could start paying, but once they did, they've been keeping it about 20 cents per share. So for all the shares they have outstanding, they pay about 20 cents, and they do it monthly, and that's about, like I said, the 9.5 to 10% yield every year on the money that you put here. It's almost like a high yield savings account. It's higher than the 5 or 6% banks are giving out now. Next thing I want you to look at, they have 3.5 million shares and $87 million in assets. So I want to do some quick math with you. If they have 3.5 million shares and they pay 20 cents per share, how much money is that they're actually spending? Times 0.2, $700,000 for them to pay out the shareholders every month in dividends with $87 million. So the math of this works out where you have 700,000 divided by the $87.7 million they have, and it tells you what percentage you need to earn, 0.00798%. Now me, I like cleaner math, so we're going to round that to 0.008, okay? So if we take 0.008 and we multiply it by the $87.7 million they have, it tells us we're going to earn approximately $700,000. So they'll have to earn 0.008% on all the money they have in assets just in order to pay you 20 cents per share. In my opinion, that's like pretty safe. Like the chance of them losing out on all these assets is pretty low because they're mainly invested in bonds, and bonds are for the government. They're going to keep paying. Next thing I want to look at, the biggest holding they have here on this is T-bills, which are treasury bonds. They have one dated here, 12/21/23. They have about $45.8 million, almost more than half their portfolio invested in this. Now I went to the U.S. Department of Treasury to look at their treasury bonds. I selected 2022, that's when the fund started, and if I go down, you can see the dates and the different yields you get on different bonds. Quick scroll down, and you see the fund started in about October. You see these bonds yielding about 3.5, 4%. And you see, looking here in December, it was about 3-4%. And at the highest over here, the longer term bonds are up to 4.5, 4.7%. So if we look back at that and we did an average of these numbers, it's between 4 and 4.5. It's not really going up to 5. So we can average and say like 395, 402, 430. I don't know. I'm just going to eyeball it. Let's say it's like 4.5%, right? We got a little bit lower, a little bit higher. So 4.5%. Quick scroll. And you see at the top here, we're at 52 weeks. So those are about a year out. So about 4.5% we're going to get on the year. Now back to this math, because math is math. We have $87.8 million, and we know that let's say we're getting about 4.5% on it, that's $3.9 million. Now if you divide that by 12, it's going to tell us how much money we're getting per month. Per month, we're getting $328,000. Well, this was 4%, was like in half of what they had invested. So on average, if the half of it's here and half of it's in the other bond getting 3-4%, they're going to get the $700,000 per month they need to pay you 20 cents per share. Okay, so back to what they're invested in. So we have 51% are in these 2023 treasury bonds, 34% are in other bonds for 12/19, and then 8% are in these bonds for October 2023. And then we got, I don't even know what TLT is, but it's low, 0.01%. These are like low percentages of the fund, so it doesn't even matter. I'm not even worried about those. I'm worried about the ones that have the most impact, which is going to be the highest weighted tickers that they have, which are the T-bills. That's all they have in there, pretty much T-bills. And they got some cash sitting on hand. It don't even matter, but they're going to be able to pay their shareholders every month because the bonds are going to pay what they're going to pay. That's how bonds work.